Aesop's Fable EP31, The Bird Who Stayed True. Scene 1, The Forest Flock. In a vibrant forest filled with the songs of birds and the rustling of leaves, there lived a young bird named Stella. Stella was not like the other birds in the forest. While they loved to follow the latest trends and flock together, Stella preferred to follow her own path. She had bright, unique feathers and a soft, melodic voice that was different from the loud calls of her peers. Stella valued her independence and loved exploring the forest on her own, finding joy in the little things that others often overlooked. One day, the forest buzzed with excitement as a new trend swept through the bird community. The most popular birds had started mimicking the calls of a neighboring flock that had recently moved into the area. The new flock had a harsh, loud call that everyone began to imitate, thinking it was the new, cool thing to do. All the birds gathered in the clearing each morning to practice this new call, eager to fit in and be admired. "Come on, Stella," called one of the birds, eager to get her to join. "You should learn the new call too. Everyone's doing it, and you don't want to be left out." But Stella hesitated. She didn't like the loud, grating sound of the new call. It didn't feel like her, and she didn't see why she should change who she was just to fit in with everyone else. "I appreciate the offer," Stella replied gently, "but I like my own song. It's part of who I am, and I don't want to change that just to follow the crowd." The other birds shrugged and flew off, joining the rest of the flock. But as Stella watched them go, she wondered if she was making a mistake by staying true to herself. She began to feel a little lonely, but deep down, she knew that she couldn't give up what made her unique. Scene 2, The Pressure to Conform. As the days passed, the pressure for Stella to conform grew stronger. The other birds in the forest continued to practice the new call, and soon, it seemed like everyone was doing it. The loud, harsh sounds filled the forest from dawn until dusk, drowning out the softer melodies that Stella loved. One afternoon, while Stella was perched on a branch near a quiet stream, a wise old owl named Oliver flew down and settled beside her. Oliver had been watching Stella and had noticed how she was struggling with the pressure to fit in. "Why do you look so troubled, Stella?" Oliver asked in his deep, soothing voice. Stella sighed. "Everyone in the forest is following this new trend, and they want me to join them. But it doesn't feel right to me. I love my own song, and I don't want to change it. But I'm starting to feel like I don't belong." Oliver nodded thoughtfully. It's not always easy to stay true to yourself, especially when others are trying to convince you to change. But remember, Stella, your uniqueness is what makes you special. Don't let the opinions of others make you doubt your own worth. The forest needs your voice, just as it. Scene 3, The Stormy Night. Not long after Stella's conversation with Oliver, a powerful storm swept through the forest. The wind howled through the trees, and the rain poured down in torrents. The birds, who were usually so loud and lively, were now huddled in their nests, frightened by the ferocity of the storm. As the storm raged on, the flock that had been imitating the new call grew anxious. Their harsh, loud calls weren't strong enough to be heard over the roar of the wind, and they began to panic. The birds didn't know what to do. They had spent so much time copying the new trend that they had forgotten their original songs, the songs that were meant to communicate with each other in times of trouble. Stella, who was safely tucked away in her nest, heard the cries of the other birds and knew she had to help. She took a deep breath and began to sing her own song, the soft, melodic tune that she had always cherished. Her voice, though gentle, was steady and clear, cutting through the noise of the storm like a beacon of light. The other birds heard Stella's song and immediately recognized it. It was a song that had been passed down through generations, a song that carried a message of safety and reassurance. One by one, the birds began to follow Stella's voice, finding their way to safety by listening to her steady, guiding tune. Scene 4, The Power of Staying True. When the storm finally passed, the birds gathered in the clearing, grateful to have weathered the storm together. They realized that in their eagerness to follow the latest trend, they had lost sight of the songs that truly mattered, the songs that connected them to one another and to the forest. Stella, who had stayed true to herself, had been the one to lead them through the storm. The other birds looked at her with newfound respect and admiration. "Stella," said one of the birds, "we were wrong to try to make you change. Your song saved us, and we're so glad you stayed true to yourself." Stella smiled, her heart filled with joy. "Thank you," she said. "I'm glad I could help. I've learned that it's important to stay true to who you are, even when others try to make you change. Our uniqueness is what makes us strong, and it's what helps us shine when it matters most." From that day on, the birds of the forest embraced their own unique songs, each one adding its own beauty to the harmony of the forest. And Stella, who had once felt pressured to conform, was now celebrated for her individuality and strength. Moral of the story: staying true to yourself and valuing your uniqueness is more important than following the crowd. Your individual strengths and qualities are what make you special, and they can shine brightest when you stay true to who you are.